Hey everybody, it's me, Mario5514. Welcome back to another Splatoon Talk video. In this video, we're going to be talking about some new ideas that we want for Splatoon 4. Now, you guys have watched some of my previous Splatoon Talk videos. You guys wanted some more talk about Splatoon 4, as the game has been leaked as well as mentioned by a few people in the YouTube community, or people in the Nintendo community talking about it through Splatoon. And like my previous videos, these are just theories or predictions about what we could see in Splatoon 4. And the first one we're going to talk about is the introduction. I mean, if we look at Splatoon 1, it was just a basic like setup or introduction, as we should say, having two Inklings, an Inkling boy and Inkling girl. You choose your Inkling's gender, you choose their skin tone, and then their eye color, and off you go. In Splatoon 2, it's a little more elaborate. I mean, the progression scenes are a little more interactive than in the first installment. You get to choose not only your Inkling's gender, skin tone, and eye color like you did in the first installment, but you also got to choose your Inkling's hairstyle and leg wear. Same thing that you could do with the Octolings upon completing Octo Expansion. And then in Splatoon 3, same thing that you see in Splatoon 2 with the choosing Inklings or Octolings, but you get to choose your Octoling right off the bat in Splatoon 3 compared to Splatoon 2. You had to complete Octo Expansion. So maybe in Splatoon 4, I was thinking if we were going to a tropical resort like I predicted or theorized, maybe we could show like us getting off, our character getting off at the airport, but it's a random character by default for like an art concept or depiction of that character in Splatoon 4. It would first be like, it would be an Inkling boy or Inkling girl, or an Octoling maybe, and we could have the same kind of setup that we see. We could have the same animation or interaction style animation that we see in Splatoon 3, but just in a different way. And I also think instead of just choosing like the regular leg wear, why not choose like starting clothes? Even though if you're in Splatoon 1 and 2, you had the white headband, the basic tee, and cream basics. In Splatoon 3, you had a different outfit, and all the other basic stuff that you had in the first two games you could buy from the stores in Splatsville. So maybe like you could choose, for starting with like headwear, you could choose from a sun visor, a golf visor, or like anything that's summer themed, but those would be the two I would think would be acceptable for a tropical setting. We could have, for our clothes, we could have the Aloha shirt, the logo Aloha shirt, a white tee, like something to just keep cool in the summer. And then for the footwear, we could have crazy arrows, black flip-flops, Muscle Forge flip-flops, like those like summer themed footwear. That would look very nice, for nice aesthetic to go with the headwear and clothes. As well as maybe we could have like a different showing for the character animations. Maybe have like have them wear, like, you could choose, like, if you choose an Inkling girl, you could have a swimsuit. If you choose an Inkling boy, you could have swim trunks. Basically, it would be the same thing if you choose an Octoling girl or Octoling boy. Same thing that for the Inkling, same thing that would happen with the Inklings. and then off you go. You eventually would start off with the Splattershot Junior, as you always would since Splatoon 1 back in 2015, and the other two games in the future between 2017 and 2022 with Splatoon 2 and 3. And yeah, I think a tropical setting would be very nice for Splatoon 4, just like away from the hustle and bustle of Inkopolis and Splatsville. Just a bit of a change in pace with what we see in the series. Because if you look between Splatoon 1 and 3, we're usually in a city background, like in Inkopolis Plaza, Inkopolis Square, or in Splatsville. So maybe in a tropical resort outside of Inkopolis and Splatsville would look very cool. So yeah. All right, next thing I want to talk about is the games. If you guys have played ranked battle stages, if you guys have played ranked battles, you know exactly what I'm talking about. My previous Splatoon Talk video, I mentioned capture the flag. Wanted to be added in. Like, that was just an idea of a new ranked battle concept, as well as breaking from the tradition of having ranked battles being 5 minutes long. Maybe we could have capture the flag being 10 minutes long. Just something to change of pace that we see outside of the mainstay mechanics in the Splatoon series. Even though if we look in Splatoon 3 from Splatoon 2 with Clam Blitz, the only change that we saw there was the amount of clams you needed to make a super clam or a football, in which in Splatoon 2 you needed 10 clams to make a super clam, and you only needed 8 to make a super clam. So you could see the slight change from the games. Maybe adding not just capture the flag, maybe add I don't know, maybe we could add some kind of a, how should I put it? How should I put it for in a ranked battle fashion? Should, it's kind of hard to try to think of these ideas. Capture the flag would be one, like I mentioned. Maybe it could be a good ranked battle game than just we have the original three ranked battles. We have Rainmaker, Tower Control, and Splat Zones, and then with Clan Blitz joining in Splatoon 2. And then we have the same 4 ranked battles in Splatoon 3. So maybe in Splatoon 4 we could see capture the flag. Maybe we could have some kind of a laser tag kind of game. Instead of having to hit your opponent several times, maybe have it in a charger setting. I don't know. Wait, no, that wouldn't work either, because it has to be in a tropical setting outside of the city limits of Inkopolis and Splatsville. What could be a good ranked battle idea? So we have capture the flag. Maybe we could have a a dance off kind of ranked, but maybe we could, no, that wouldn't be. Well, it could be a good side game idea, like we see with Squid Beats and Squid Jump, like we see in Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. Maybe for Splatoon 4 we could have that kind of thing as a side game outside of the turf battles and ranked battles. Have a dance off, Squid Beats dance off, which would be for local play. Maybe there could be a setting that you can make it online, but you could only play with one person online, so it'd be like a 1v1. And maybe for local play, there could be 4 people involved, you and three of your friends in the dance-off. It would just be like Squid Beat setting, nothing too big. Just something everyone can relate to, as well as look back on from 2015. But I think ranked battle. I think it's gonna take a long. It's gonna take a long thinking process to come up with any ranked battle ideas. Um, for the ranked battle ideas for Splatoon 4. So yeah, maybe capture the flag for ranked battle. Side game, we could have a tropical dance off as a side game, like we see with the arcade machine outside of the Shoal in Inkopolis Square, as well as that arcade machine that we see in Inkopolis Plaza in the first installment. Maybe another idea could be I'm drawing a blank on some of these. Maybe you capture the flag and put in. No, no. Maybe that would just. Yeah, I'm just drawing a. Maybe just capture the flag for the moment, for the time being, for ranked battles. It's kind of hard to think of a good ranked battle stage, considering the fact that not that many people play ranked battles as they do with turf battles. But maybe another good idea would be the use of, shall we say, more turf battle stage ideas. Yeah, that could be our next one, which is exactly is our next chapter in this. New turf battle stages. If you guys have seen in Splatoon, starting in Splatoon 2 and going into Splatoon 3, we start seeing like new turf battle stages brought in, but as well as some of the originals making their reappearance, but just reworked. We can see that with Moray Towers and Port Mackerel in Splatoon 2, as well as with Bluefin Depot and Mahi Mahi Resort in Splatoon 3. So maybe for Splatoon 4 we could see the reappearance of some of the original courses, like the original turf battle stages from Splatoon 1, as well as in Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3. Just to revive the memories from the past. Yeah, maybe for the Splatoon 1, maybe bring back Salt Spray Rig as well as Urchin Underpass. Definitely bring back Mahi Mahi Resorts. That would definitely be a good turf battle stage for Splatoon 4. And I think, what's another good, maybe bring back Moray Towers. Yeah, maybe bring that back. And then for Splatoon 2, we could bring back the Reef, Humpback Pump Track. Maybe bring back Muscle Forge Fitness. I doubt that stage would make a comeback. It's one of the worst stages in Splatoon 2. Muscle Forge Fitness. The best one, the best. I mean, when it comes to turf battle stages in Splatoon 2, the Reef is the best, and Muscle Forge Fitness is the worst. And maybe for Splatoon 3, we could have, I don't know, maybe Brinewater Springs making a return. Maybe for like a desert setting, or make it like we're going across the ocean towards the airport from the train station. Maybe we could bring back, I don't know. It's just hard to try to bring some of the turf battle stages from those games back if you want a tropical setting. I mean, it's inevitable that you're going to get something within the city. I mean, Urchin Underpass is a good example, as well as the Reef. So yeah, maybe mix in some of those maybe mix in some of those city stages in there. But we just wouldn't have as many like we've seen between Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 3. Um, and then maybe Splatoon 3 we could have Eel Tail Alley return, as well as have there was another one. I said Brinewater Springs, Eel Tail Alley. There was another stage from Splatoon 3 that I saw. Wasn't Lemira Hub. Wasn't that one. Oh, yes. Maybe we could bring back Umami Ruins from Splatoon 3. Kind of like a tourist destination to travel to from that tropical resort. But it's kind of hard. I mean, the only way that that we would have to do it would be to get there by boat instead of by plane. Because I mean, if you look, the Splatlands it's just barren desert. And maybe if Umami Ruins is close to Anarchy Bay or close to the ocean, maybe they'll be able to take a boat from that tropical resort to Umami Ruins. Next idea, I think, would be the single-player story mode. So, as you guys have known, Team Past won the Grand Festival, meaning that it would determine the outlook for Splatoon 4, meaning it would be taking place in the past. Maybe if we're in the tropical resort, or maybe if we step inside the hotel within the resort that we're staying at, maybe there's like a museum area that we could step into, and we get to look back at all the artifacts dug up that date back from the Great Turf War, before it led up to the events of Splatoon 1 that we see. Not only would we see all those artifacts, but we also would see some of those sunken scrolls make a reappearance from Splatoon 1 when we were playing as Agent 3. You know, just those extra details. I think something else worth mentioning is shall we say, the history books. Maybe there's like a history book that's like a chapter book that we could go through, and it would just be like the single player story mode or the DLC for Splatoon 4. Maybe the single player story mode that we're all used to between Splatoon 1 and 3, maybe for Splatoon 4 it would take place outside of the tropical resort and would be in a place outside, like near the wilderness of the tropical wilderness outside the resort. Give it that feeling that you find a village outside of civilization or outside of the resort, like miles outside, that you managed to uncover, or that they're outside of, like maybe in that kind of environment that we would be in. You know, starting off the single player story mode, and maybe the Octarians would once again be the enemy, because I mean, maybe Octavio was just there to stop Mr. Grizz from destroying the world in Splatoon 3. Maybe Octavio could go back to the villain that he is, that we see him in from Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. So yeah. Another thing to talk about in this page is the return of Agent 4. Now, a lot of you guys were very disappointed that Agent 4 didn't make like a formal return that we all thought would happen in Splatoon 3's Side Order DLC. We only saw like a representation or a parallel canon version of Agent 4, who we played as in Splatoon 2, as we see in Splatoon 3's Side Order. Maybe Agent 4 can make their reappearance once again after being playable in Splatoon 2, and maybe after all this time we could see Agent 4 having some kind of a small role in helping us, like we've seen Agent 3 play in with Octo expansion. Maybe it would be, maybe we could have that kind of moment. Agent 4 would be in. I mean, Agent 3 had his moments before he became the captain. Maybe Agent 4 could have his moments as well in Splatoon 4. Maybe also giving Agent 4 that side character as well as side antagonist side of the story in the single player story mode in Splatoon 4 outside of the tropical resorts. Like maybe Agent 4 could be attacked by the Octarians. Agent 4 was overwhelmed and eventually is under mind control under the Octarian army. And we have to fight against Agent 4 and snap him out of it, eventually returning him to normal. Outside, freeing him from the Octarians' influence. Octavio finds out about this and is not very happy and tells his troops that they failed at stopping the new agent. Maybe we could have Agent 5, who would be the new agent this time around. Because, I mean, we already have an Agent 4, it's just Nintendo hasn't shown Agent 4 since 2017, and they only showed the parallel canon of Agent 4 in Side Order. Maybe we could see Agent 4 make a reappearance once again. You know, I mean, there's a small fan base for Agent 4, but the fan base for Agent 3 is bigger than Agent 4's. And according to like Japanese, according to Japanese beliefs, the Japanese people believe the number 4 is an unlucky number. And I do not believe in anything superstitious, but if that is true, comment down below the video. I mean, even if the number 4 is unlucky, doesn't change the fact that Agent 4 shouldn't return, because I think Agent 4 should return as kind of like a supporting or side character in Agent 5's quest in stopping Octavio. So maybe Agent 4 would have that same kind of helping hand that we saw Agent 3 give us in Octo expansion when he rescued Agent 8 from, as well as Captain Cuttlefish, from that giant blender. Maybe Agent 4 could help save us from the Octarians attempting to kill us, and then Agent 4 comes in at the last second to save us just in time before we met our demise, or our fate, I should say. Meet our fate. Yeah. That's definitely something to question. Will Agent 4 return? We can only speculate if Agent 4 will return, because I think Agent 4 should return and give Agent 4 that kind of supporting role of being a side character like we've seen Agent 3 have in Octo expansion. Alright, the determining factor for Splatoon 4. So as you guys know, like I said, Team Past won the Grand Festival, meaning that they would determine the outlook for Splatoon 4. Maybe it would be like an added DLC piece. Maybe it's like the missing piece of the entire Splatoon game, or Splatoon 4. Maybe instead of having like a hub you travel to, maybe you just go inside a museum, the museum part of the tropical resort. Eventually you find an old history book that talks about the history of what the world was like before and during the Great Turf War, eventually leading up to the events of Splatoon 1 that we see in the eyes of Agent 3 when he was in Octo Valley. So maybe we come across that book, and maybe it's like a chapter book. Like, the first chapter depicts an event in history before, and it would be like before the Great Turf War. Eventually, we would reach a chapter or a point in the story that we would eventually be involved in the Great Turf War when the sea levels were rising. that led the Octarians and the Inklings fighting against each other. Eventually, the Inklings winning the war and driving the Octarians underground. That we see. I mean, if we look at the map of the Splatoon universe, and this is for Splatoon 3 in particular, we could see the how should I put this? Man. Like it would show, like it shows the land where the Inklings live, and then the wasteland is where the Octarians are, which is also where Octo Valley and Octo Canyon are also located. So maybe for that, maybe it would depict us in another area before the landscape changed in Splatoon, before the events of Splatoon 1. Maybe like it'll show us a map of what the landscape looked like before the sea levels were rising, as a result of the remnants, or the like the remains of what happened when the humans were still on the Earth before they met their untimely fate. So yeah, maybe we could have that kind of idea set up. I mean, it's just an idea, you know? I mean, remember, it's all predictions and all theory-based. It is not official. So yeah, maybe we could see that kind of story play out in that kind of matter. And every time you complete a chapter, a new chapter in that book would be unlocked, meaning that you could read more of it. Eventually, you finish off to the very end. And, you know, some people predicted that maybe you could choose your side if you want to be with the Inklings or the Octarians. Before, like, you could play, like, during the events before and during the Great Turf War. See the what would have happened if the Octarians won and the Inklings lost. But I feel like it would only be for the Inklings, because it would be like, people described, it would have been like the prequel to Splatoon 1. Like, the Inklings won the Great Turf War, they drove the Octarians underground, and it would just be the play on 100 years later. I mean, the Great Turf War was there 100 years prior to the events of Splatoon 1. So it would have had to been before Agent 3 was recruited by the captain. And of course, before Agents 1 and 2 made their appearance as well, even though they're both granddaughters to the captain. So yeah. And finally, before we end the video, I also want to talk about other new ideas, like I've mentioned in one of my previous videos, like being able to choose your weapon models in Splatoon 4. Like, you could choose the 2015 models, like you've seen in Inkopolis Plaza for Splatoon 1. Choose the 2017 models, like in Splatoon 2, and then the 2022 models for Splatoon 3. But you also get their weapon setups as well. The only drawback would be you don't get the third weapon kits like you get in Splatoon 1 and 2. That's the only thing. Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the video. If you guys have any ranked battle ideas, send them in the share them in the comments below the video. If you want to chat with me on any Splatoon related content, the link to my Discord server is in my channel. You can check that out. If you guys like the video, be sure you subscribe and don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. And until then, stay fresh.